Hello folks, we're back out at the forge today. No fishing, unfortunately. Though it is noon and it's hot, so just as soon be here as I had to be on the boat. Gonna do a little something different today. Lately I've kind of played around and experimented with forge welding high carbon to mild seal. Today we're gonna try something that's old as the hills. Historically, before good quality steel became commonplace, oftentimes wrought iron was used to form the blade, and a good steel edge was forge welded on. So that's what we're going to do today. I want to make just a little knife. I've got an old piece of wagon wheel, wrought iron wagon tire, that was sent to me by a friend a while back ago. I've been saving it back, just using a little at a time, because wrought iron's a little hard to come by. They don't make it anymore. And I've got some 1095 high carbon steel. We're going to put them together and see what we come up with. We're going to start out here with that piece of wrought iron. Going to work it down to shape on the power hammer. I could do this on the anvil, but it takes too long. And it's already hot. And I just don't have time for all that. I want to work it down to about 3/4 by 1/4 inch, roughly. We'll see what the length comes out to. And you can see what I'm doing. That could all be done on the anvil by hand. But I've got the hammer, so I'm going to use it. I've noticed on some of my forge welded pieces before, when I've been edge forge welding, it's always where the heel of the blade is forge welded in that always kind of messes up. So I'm going to try something a little different this time. We're almost there, just about got it where we want it to be. Then of course I'll have to take it and do a little grinding on it. And that's a piece of 1/4 inch stock. Just trying to get it roughly to the 1/4 inch thickness. It's pretty close. All right, so there is our piece of high carbon steel. I'll be cutting a piece out of it. And there's our piece of wrought iron. I've rounded the end and ground the surface flat that'll be forge welded. And I'll just cut out a little piece of that high carbon to forge weld in. And there we go. And you can see where I've tack welded the high carbon, just the single tack on the wrought iron. Now that back there where that tack is, that's going to be sacrificial. I'm going to end up cutting that back section off, because the blades, some of the blades that I've done shows the weld from where I've used the arc welder to stick it together, and I just don't like that. So that's sacrificial. So I boraxed my piece for flux, and we've gone through the first welding heat. Just make sure everything is nice and tight. It's pretty good. Yep. Make sure our weld's stuck. Now I purposely didn't put enough pressure at the heel to make it stick, because like I said, I want that last little bit to be sacrificial. Just doing our preform. Start working on the bevels a little bit, just to see what kind of shape we're going to have. And yeah, I'm going to have to knock that handle down in order to get that little bit of high carbon off that I want to get off. I'm going to have to knock it down. Otherwise, I'm going to end up cutting a notch into my wrought iron. Now I need to draw that handle out. Got way too much wrought iron. Should have paid attention before, but I need to draw it out for thickness. It's way too thick, and I need a distal taper. So I am starting, as you can see, at the blade to handle junction and just drawing it out, thinning it, making it longer. Yeah, I had too much wrought iron. It's gonna end up way too long. That's okay if it's too long. That's why God made man smart enough to invent a saw and a grinder. Or a chisel if I want to do it the old-fashioned way. But we're getting our taper in. Taper's about right. Still need to knock that little piece off the heel. And I'll do that eventually. Right now, let's put a little backward curve and at least start a bevel. You can see there in the back where I didn't forge weld. That back right there, that back bit. Like I said, that's okay. Knock it down so I can get to that piece. There we go. Now I've clipped that little piece of steel off the heel of the edge. I'm going to draw this out. I don't really want a real finger choil. I want this to be just sort of a small, slim type blade. Small, slim handle. It's going to turn out pretty good, I believe. That handle is going to be really nice after I trim it down. Now we can get in here and work those bevels out. Make sure everything's nice and flat. And there we go, it's been rough ground. All right, so we did that little rough grind there earlier. Went ahead and took it in the house. Did a little test etch just to see what it comes out like before we go any further with it. And here's the blade. Going to be a really nice little knife. You can see the grain in the wrought iron, looks almost like wood grain. And then the good hard line where it's forge welded onto that high carbon steel. That's going to make somebody a really nice little blade. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned something. Thanks for watching. God bless and have a great night.